Morning. This is Kate at Kate's Garden, Chicken, and Cat Ramblings. And it's 6:45 in the morning. This started about 15 minutes ago. Have you ever noticed that cat claws have a little boob sensor? He's already deflated my right breast. He's managing to perch all his weight on one leg, on one rib. So, quick little story. People like stories. This is Lotto, also known as BK, which is short for Baby Kitty. After I moved here in February of 2011, this was Paul and I's first rescue that summer. Some people know the story of Lotto. He was named by our high school band teacher. Once we got him, I didn't know what to name him. And so I posted his picture and asked for names from friends from Facebook, and Lotto's the one that won. Because he won the lotto when he came to live with us. Lotto was a very small cat. We had a big rainstorm one night. There's always a feral cat somewhere behind my neighbor's house having kittens. So we had a really huge thunderstorm for a couple days, and then for about a week, maybe almost two, it was probably only a week, but it seemed like 2 weeks, we kept hearing this little tiny kitten crying for its mama, but it was under some brush. We couldn't get to it. And I started back there one day, and immediately there were like 2 ticks on my socks, and I retreated. I was gonna look for it, and luckily my neighbor was listening too, and he had some powdered milk, and he lured it out. And once it was on the porch drinking, they called me and said, you have a good empathy with animals, and they knock it out. They think it's my Native American ancestry, but could be my Celtic ancestry. Could be just my muttness, but I'm good at sensing emotions. I'm really empathic that way. And anyway, whatever. But so I took a dish towel over and scooped up this little kitty and brought it home, and he was so tiny. And so we're going to bottle feed him, and he immediately chewed the nipple off the bottle. So we gave him some kitten formula in a bowl, and some soft kitten food and some kitten crunchies, and we just kept him. He was so tiny, and Paul used to come home from work when we both actually lived anywhere else other than our bedroom, and he would sit down in front of the TV and fall asleep, and in the crook of his arm would be this little kitten. And he was a daddy's boy. And I know you're scratching, but you're killing my rib. Well, don't scratch your ear so hard. You're itchy. I already cleaned them. He's like, that's why it itches. You got all the yucky stuff out of there, and now it's itching. Or he's feeling the fresh air in his ear hairs. Yeah. Oh, okay. You can curl up right there off the edge of my boob, but it's like, even without okay, there's a claw, but it's like he folds his feet under, and that one, it's like you got a bony wrist, and he's just poking it. Okay, dude, come on. Into my rib. Sometimes I squish him over. That way he can, that little, see, easier on the side of my boob than it is in that one rib, right? Ouch. Okay. I'll tough it out for the video. But anyhow, he was super active and always attacking everything, and we called him Monster Baby. But our female cats didn't really want to have a lot to do with him. They were curious, but Chaos, the black and white cat you see outside in my garden, was an inside cat at that time, and he turned into the mama. And one day Paul was complaining, your cat's in the baby carrier and the kitten carrier and blah, 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 blah. Well, he would get in the kitten carrier to sleep, smaller space, but wrapped in his arms or curled up to his tummy would be Lotto. And he bathed this kitten and watched over him and slept with him every night, and like a surrogate mother. Lotto was a year old, and we're like, is this kitten ever going to learn to bathe itself? Because, before it could even, figure out that it could reach its tummy to lick it, there was chaos there. He was like such a daddy mother hen. That makes sense. It doesn't, but it doesn't matter. It's 6:45 in the morning. And I forgot to take the trash to the curb last night. I wake up like on cue at usually about 4:30, and then make myself go back to sleep till 6:15, and I just automatically wake up. I've always been able to wake up and make myself go back to sleep, but I guess as you get older, it becomes a real talent. But so I went out, let the chickens out, and took the trash to the curb, and fed everybody, and baby kitty had his breakfast. And he's like, oh, Mom, are we going back to sleep for a little bit? I'm going to come and fluff your pillow and fluff your boob. And I'm going to sleep on your ribs. Look at that sweet little face. We're going to go see these? So that's the story of Lotto. And he's been with us ever since. And of course, if you know us, we've... I had 2. When I came here, Paul had 2. We adopted Lotto, that made 5. And then we adopted a couple kittens that were either going to need to be adopted or taken to the ASPCA. So that made 7. And we're like 5, 7. What's the difference? And then, of course, someone found Pip. They almost hit her on the side of the road, and then so we adopted her. That made 8. And then we had Luna. We thought she was a feral at first, but then she was sleeping on our neighbor's porch. She's the one that got sadly crushed under the car tire last year. But she was deaf and long-haired Torti. Looks a lot like Pandy, but she's long-haired, and she lived outside. She would come in a little bit, but she had issues with going in the cat box, and I think it was more that all the other cats would stalk her and wouldn't let her in the cat box, and then she would go in a corner. One winter we had to put newspaper and a cat box down and just tough it out, but eventually we made little heated cubbies outside, so she was outside all the time. And then Romeo, somebody had Romeo, a lady who rescues sparrows, so we got Romeo. So what are we at? 8, 9, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. Romeo made our 9th cat. That's inside cat. And then Tiger passed away, and Chaos was outside, and Paul's original female were outside. So that was really, someone in the house. So when Tiger passed away, we were down to 6. And then we got Romeo, and then a feral that kept coming around last year, last spring and into the summer. I'd eaten the cat food. Ended up having some kittens on our property. She carried them off and then came back with 2. She wasn't a very good mama. She was old, she was toothless, deaf, and she would spend a little bit of time feeding them, but she didn't do any kind of nurturing or really grooming or anything like that. So at 5 weeks we had to bring them in, and that's Della and Biscuit, the little smaller cats you see running around. So yeah. We are back down to what? 2, no, those 2 are gone. So 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the house. Chaos outside makes, yeah, 9. 8 inside, one outside. And, yeah, that's where all our money goes, you know. They eat Blue Buffalo dry food, and we don't feed them a lot of soft food. In the morning they get a spoonful. Well, I give them each a spoonful. Paul, he complains about their weight, but he does overfeed them. Baby Kitty's picky. He's still skinny. He's back to fluffing my pillow. But that's the story of Baby Kitty. He's so sweet. Oh, ow, 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 that's the boob. Don't put the claw in the nipple. Ow. Ow, ow, ow. Alright, well, I'm going to try to go back to sleep if I can after all this fluffing. Everybody have a great day. Please like and subscribe. Bye.